Yo, 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 what's up, sports freaks? And we want to give a big shout out to Abraham Castaneda with that was Chala Head Chala. That dude is awesome. He can shred like crazy. Go to youtube.com, Abraham Castaneda. He also works with Dragon Ball Z, so you got to check out his stuff. He's freaking awesome. But you know who else is awesome is our guest that we have this week on All Sports Media Team Presents Dubl Drbl, episode 30, Beauty, Brains, and Ballin. We got the one and only Gianna Woods over here. What's up, Gianna? Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
We've heard nothing but good about you, Gianna. I'm super excited for this interview. I can see T already got that giant smile. She knows what's coming. So I'm super excited to see what's going to go down today. So, joining us as well. We got a lot of people today. I love it. We got an audience. We got Nathan Howard and Bruce, is it Komaka down there as well. And oh, look, Coach just joined us. We got Coach.
Right on time.
We got Lady T. And we got George hanging out with us. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Yeah,
definitely. I stay ready. I was born ready, so I don't have to get ready.
I love it.
Oh, okay.
I love it. All right, let's get rolling, you guys. All right, Gianna. So what we do usually when we open up is we just want to get to know Gianna. We'll give us a little bit of background, maybe childhood to now, just a couple big highlights in your life. And then we'll play off of that and we'll have some fun. Let's go ahead and do this. Go for it.
Well, my name is Gianna Woods. I'm from Los Angeles, so born and raised. I have played basketball professionally for 7 years, and then finally coming home to start, looking into different avenues in my life. Let's see. I mean, I played basketball for most of my life. I used to model. I've done some acting. I've done some humanitarian and activist work. So I've kind of dabbled into a lot of different things, just trying to see where my passions are and just really exploring all the things that are available, to explore out here.
Cool. I like that you're so well-rounded. You have all kinds of different stuff that you can bounce off of, like you get a lot of ballers that'll just be like, oh, I'm all straight basketball, no business, no nothing. Once I'm done, I'm just going to collect the dough and go, but you got stuff planned. You got stuff behind you. You're ready to go, when you hang up your shoes. I think that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. I've been a basketball coach at different levels. I've been a basketball coach at, university level, high school, elementary school. So I definitely have different experiences in the different realms of basketball. So that's my first love, even though as much as I think that I'm trying to get away from it, I always come back to basketball because I love the sport.
Yeah. And if you love it, it's not a job. It's fun. That's what it is.
It's just a way of life.
Something you like to do.
Absolutely. You're also, so you said you're a baller, you're a model, a trainer. You're also an entrepreneur as well, right? You got your own little business going on. Am I right?
I do merch and apparel. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I also create bath salts. So for the bath and for exfoliating your face and things like that, a lot of beauty products. Those are the two things that I'm working on at the moment.
There you go,
definitely. We gonna talk.
Yo, show them the merch I made for you, Gianna.
Oh, this guy already trying to build
yeah,
the show, man. Come on, give the girl some time.
The Gym with Gianna shirt.
Okay.
Hey, that was litty.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it.
Got the woods in the background.
Hey.
Gianna. So we're working on finalizing some art, like the artwork for that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So we might add a little more.
Keep going with that, girl. Keep going.
T approves. If T approves, it's got to be good.
No, that's no. If your passion approves, it's gotta be good.
Hey, come on, T. Come on. You made this, so if you approve that,
I just love doing it. Like she loves doing it. We love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
We all creators in different ways.
Absolutely. Ooh, George getting deep, 2 minutes into the show. Watch out.
Hey, man. I gotta put my plug on.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. You also said you're a trainer, right? I believe you said.
Yeah, I am a personal trainer.
Okay.
I do mostly flexibility and stability.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which are so important when in sports, like being able to stretch at the beginning, at the end of your workouts, and just stay flexible, just keep injury free. That's the most important thing for an athlete. So it's just like being able to like hone in on that and find different ways to maintain that, that ability to stay at the top of your game,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was a catcher in baseball. I know all about the extra stretching. Trust me. That's no joke when it comes to stretching. I also love with the capital L that you did that with the wildlife connection, the giraffe thing you did that I saw on your Instagram. That thing was so, I want to say heartfelt, and just I could see how dedicated you were to it. Can you explain to us a little bit of what that was, just in case people do go to your Instagram and see that?
Yeah. So that was with the P. Cones Foundation, and it's a foundation in Australia that helps to save the reticulated giraffes. So the reticulated giraffes are different than regular giraffes in that they have more brown space over their faces and in their bodies, as far as their colors. But they're going endangered out there. So they did a campaign to raise awareness for all the reticulated giraffes out there. And they asked me to be a part of it. And I absolutely love the idea of it, because growing up and being so tall, I think one of those, you know where I'm going with this.
Killing me. I'm sorry.
One of those things I've always been like compared to as being a giraffe, like as a spirit animal, or whether it's just like just being really, really tall. So when they asked me to be a part of that campaign, I absolutely had to do it,
That's so cool that you jumped at that opportunity. And it's so sad these days that these amazing animals, we hear of all these different animals now that are going almost extinct, and it's freaking ridiculous because you got the stupid poachers out there, and that's never going to stop. So I love the fact that you're trying to raise awareness so that if we can't stop it, we can at least reduce it, So thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You've also played overseas, right? I heard you played overseas.
I played overseas for 7 years.
What?
Awesome. I played straight out of college, and I played in the places like Australia, Peru, Brazil, Spain, England. So it was a great experience. Absolutely great experience. I loved it.
Super cool. You're our first one for England, I believe, and Australia. What was it's funny because when you hear them talk, sometimes they sound the same. So if you can give me a little comparison between Australia and England playing in either areas, how was that like?
You know what? In Australia, I feel like Australia, they're a lot stronger. It's a lot stronger league in the sense like it's more physical. And I would say in England, it's more tactical.
Cool.
So as far as, let me think. Playing wise, I absolutely love playing in Australia more because it was like, the style of play is more similar to that in like American style, which is really being physical. And that's the space that I've always been good in. And then in England, that's when I learned to shoot my threes in England. That's when I had to learn to shoot the three.
Okay. We hear that a lot with the guys that have played in like China and stuff. They're like, yeah, it's super technical there, but if you play in like, different parts of Europe, like you said, it's different as well. That's super freaking cool. So T, you played overseas. What kind of comparisons can you give to what Gianna's gone through?
No, I was gonna say that what she just said explains why she's so versatile and why she can basically play every sport or every position. Because even in the Drew, 3-on-3, I'm talking guard handles. Me and my dad looking like, who is she? So what she just said, like her being in Australia and her having to, where she learned the threes and all that really explains it. I'm like, oh. So I'm reading her at the same time, scouting for, next season at the women's Drew, so keep talking.
Put on your scouting report.
That's dope. That's so dope. That's so dope.
I'm not the only one. I love that. Well, since you brought up the women's Drew, let's talk about it, Gianna. How was the women's Drew? What did you learn at the women's Drew? And what was the funnest thing for you playing for the women's Drew?
Well, I mean, the women's Drew is so important to women's basketball in LA because, like, I've been playing there since I was in college. I used to come home and I used to play during the summer. So it's been like a long-standing league in my life. This past year, I played with, my team was called Space Jam, and I played with a great group of girls, and then we played against great group of girls. Like, it was just such a fun and competitive season this year. Like, when I say, like, it was like an all-star game every game.
Nice.
Like, there, you know, and I played against T2, and that girl is just, oh my goodness, amazing.
Ooh,
Amazing.
yeah.
I would love to
I've seen that game. I've seen that
must
game.
see right there.
Must see TV.
Absolutely. I heard you for Space Jam. You had a pretty cool coach, if I'm not misunderstood as well, right?
Yeah.
Coach Don.
Humble. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
I don't know where he's at right now.
You played for Coach Don, didn't you, before?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's hiding in the
Yeah.
middle there. He you know you got to say something now, Don. I just threw you there. You got to.
Funny.
Hey, you said everything. You know, okay. I'll speak up later.
Oh, man.
It's all good.
I'm in trouble. Oh, well, it was worth it. See, we're like a big dysfunctional family, Gianna. I'm sorry. We hate on each other, but we love each other. Speaking of knowing each other, you went to college with Josiah Whitehead, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Was that Robert Morris or was that somewhere else?
That was at Robert Morris.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I love like when we interviewed Josiah, I kept talking about the story about Robert Morris and how they just kept, running the table and people just underdog. You guys just kept going. It was freaking cool. And I love stories like that. Back to the Drew really quick. You seem pretty humble yourself, but I like to build you people up because that's just what I do. You made all Drew League, didn't you?
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
He's humble about it
Look
too.
at T young guys.
Yeah, T knows.
She's like, yeah, buddy. Yeah.
I love it.
Super cool.
I did.
Awesome. How did that feel when you got that news?
You know what? When they called my name, I was actually getting changed. So I had to run out there and get my trophy really quick. But, it's like to be put on that stand with the rest of the players that were like added to that list. Like I said, it's like an all-star game playing there every game. So just to be like a part of that team, of that list of players who are considered like the best, it's very humbling because there were amazing players that should be playing in the WNBA, like right now. Even though we can't play right now, they should be playing right now.
And with that said, you also played in the Basketball Beauties. Can you explain, first of all, what the Basketball Beauties is and maybe compare it to the Drew a little bit? Let's
see. Basketball Beauties League is the entertainment league. So it's a cool platform because it mixes basketball players, models, actors, entertainers. So it's like a social platform to play there and kind of like work on the branding side of your business.
Okay.
Or of your brand. So I like that in that aspect. As far as like the women's Drew has such like deep roots in the community. It has been around for so long. So it's like, that's a place where, you can go and you can get like high performance competition. And Basketball Beauties League is, you can go there and you can like do your work on your branding and your marketing and work on your social networking and things like that. So that's where you can expand on those different parts. So they each bring something different to the table.
That's pretty cool. I like that comparison. T, would you agree on that comparison?
See the nail? She hit it right on the head. Literally right on the head. That's probably like what I probably would say. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I would definitely say with the influencers side, getting women, getting women seen on that. But when it comes to Drew League, it's dogs, straight dogs. Straight basketball meanies.
There you go.
Man.
Yeah. Another approval from Lady T. You're on fire today, Gianna. Also wanted to mention, when you get to talk to athletes a lot, I work at Angel Stadium. I have for 10 years. When you talk to athletes, they're known as meatheads, you know, and oh, we eat this and we carb up with stuff like that. You don't do that. You're are you still, from what I've told you or what I've been told, is you're a vegetarian hooper. Is that still the case today?
You know what? Since
Uh-oh.
recently, since we've been in this pandemic, I have definitely started exploring more of different foods now.
Okay.
I've been a vegetarian for 3 years. So
Okay.
I did it to prove that I can do it. And once I did, once I created that lifestyle for myself, I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and branch out and go back to, seeing what else is there that I can add to my different food choices.
Hmm.
So as of right now, I'm not a vegetarian anymore, but I definitely eat the healthiest I can. So that includes more portions, more of like a Mediterranean diet. So more of like colorful foods and greens and things like that, more so than the meats. But yeah, I did vegetarian for 3 years. So
That's pretty
that was definitely.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, we have vegetarians that are going to be watching this show later. What advice could you give them if they're like, "Oh, I really want that steak," or "I really want that burger"? Like, how can they substitute out, or what should they do to distract themselves?
Well, now we do have so many substitutions to add to your meals. So they have like vegan steaks, and there's vegan nuggets and vegan chicken. And so like if that craving does get there to where you feel like you want to eat meat, like they have those type of options there for you. Now me, I really stuck, my staple was stir fries. So I really, really love the stir fry circuits and all those different type of creative ways of making those meals.
Hmm.
So there's different options out there.
Cool. You guys heard it right here from Miss Gianna Woods. She's done it. If she can do it, you can do it. Okay, so our title today is called Beauty, Brains, and Ballin. We talked about the modeling. That's the beauty. We talked about the ballin because let me try that again. You absolutely kick ass. And I want to get into the brains portion. This is the part people don't see, maybe don't see on the court. From checking your Instagram, I've also noticed that you're really into astrology. I see a lot of stuff about Taurus. I see a lot of quotes, and I absolutely love quotes. And you do meditation. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so really, I'm definitely big into the spiritual journeys that each of us have been assigned to on this planet. Um, and astrology has really been a way for me to understand a lot of things that go on in my life and things that go on in the world. I'm a Taurus, so that's what I post about Taurus season when it's around my birthday, because it feels like Tauruses don't really shout out their birthdays too much. So I always have to make sure I show my Tauruses some love. But I mean, astrology is like it's where science can meet. Astrology is where science can meet the fun aspect of getting to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's so many characteristics that, not to say that each person is exactly like how a standard description of your sign is, but it's like what it does is you can literally like trace your birth charts, and you can find out so many things about like the dominant traits that you do have, or so many like different tendencies that you might be drawn to.
Mm-hmm.
And even different life paths, because we all have different like life paths in our life, especially if we're changing careers or just growing into our new modes of being. So astrology is a good way to like kind of foresee what type of things you might want to be attracted to, or what type of things you want to get into, and then you can go ahead and use that to like make those next decisions in life.
That's super cool. So you personally believe that people use that as motivation to do certain things that they do?
Absolutely. I mean, it's been tracked in space. So each time our planet rotates, we rotate around our sun, and we rotate around, and we have a moon that rotates around us, but we rotate on an axis. So each time when our planet is in a different point in space, it pulls on the gravity that surrounds our planet. And even though like those things, and it's done on a microscopic level. So it's like, it's nothing that you can see like with the naked eye, but you can definitely feel it. And it's like molecules that go in and they change and it pulls, like you can tell in the oceans when the ocean has like a, when the ocean comes in and the ocean comes out, you can tell on that type of level, the way that the planetary alignments affect us.
Okay.
So it's a real thing.
That's pretty cool. You guys didn't know we are going to be having science class today, did you? Sorry about that. Well, a couple days early before school comes back. I wanted to talk about a quote. Again, I absolutely love quotes. If I see a quote on someone's page, I always mention it. I want to know why they put that quote. You have a billion quotes on your page, but this is the one that really stood out to me. It says, "It takes work to love the life you're living. Keep the pressure without the stress. Honor who you are." Gianna, you're a living example of that.
Thank you. You know what? And here's the thing is like, in my life, I just do, you know, and that's the thing. It's like when we talked before the interview and you were just like repeating back to me and telling me, you know, all these things that I've like done. It's like, wow, when I take a step back or finally take a time to like step back and smell my roses, it's like, wow, yeah, I have done a lot. But to me, it's just like things that I just do. Mm-hmm. So, and that requires staying present. Staying present in everything that you're doing and just being here in that moment and knowing that your moment is all that you have. That allows you to take the pressure off of yourself when you are trying to accomplish goals and not feel so, you know, stressed about it. And it's just like, I'm okay with where I am right now. You know, it's just like, yeah, we're where we are is where we're supposed to be.
Absolutely. I love that. That was really deep. I got one more deep question, and then we're gonna have a little fun. Becky Hammond, we got two female hoopers right here. I mean, this is big for you probably both heard. So
Women empowerment.
Yep, Pop got thrown out the other day, and Becky Hammond becomes the very first woman to ever coach an official NBA game. How did it feel for you to see that and hear that and the progress that women are making in the NBA?
You know what? For the fact that she has been with that program as long as she has, it's about time. That's the way I feel it.
Overdue.
That's the way I feel about it.
Overdue.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, like she's a very talented coach. She's a very talented player. So the way that she sees the game is just automatically going to be in a different light than, you know, say someone who's coming to coach who has maybe not been able to play on the court or have that type of experience. So she brings like such an edge to the game. And I think the fact that she gets to showcase it on that type of level is just phenomenal.
Absolutely. I mean, give her a couple of years. When Pop's gone, she's in, period. If someone else doesn't sign her.
She's going to be a head coach.
If she doesn't go somewhere else. I mean, I would love to see her run the Spurs. I think she'd be the perfect predecessor or the successor of the GOAT coach right now. That it's freaking Popovich, you know? So I'm super excited to see where this goes. All right. So like I said, we're going to have a little fun now. I promise I'm going to get to you guys. You guys are going to get to jump in with it. We always ask these questions. If you could be on any WNBA team, who would it be and why?
You know what? It'd have to be the Sparks, just because I'm bringing everything.
You got a teammate.
Yeah, keeping it in LA. You got to keep it at home, you know?
Oh, yeah.
City of Angels. And
they got an awesome squad, and they have I love the way they carry themselves. I mean, now Derek Fisher's the GM. Who knows what's going to happen, you know? And he's a coach. It's pulling a Doc Rivers. So, you know,
yeah.
So we'll see what's up. It's going to be really cool. Okay, cool. I thought I was expecting that. Okay, so now you got your dream team. What about your dream matchup? It could be against an NBA person, WNBA person, or both.
A matchup. You know what? I'd like to see the way I match up against Maya Moore. Just because she is
that would be awesome.
She is such a versatile player, and she just dominates every position. And it's just like, I would definitely, if I had a chance to match up against her, that's who I'd guard.
Man, that would be freaking epic. Again, must see
and she's a good Yeah, exactly. And one thing about Gianna, she's a very good defender. She defends guards like crazy. So
Look at T.
yes,
Like, yep.
he could attest to
Locking them
that.
too,
So
though.
she plays great defense. That's what I admire about her.
Yeah, defense is big.
All around player.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's hard to find good defense. All right, last question for me, and then I'm gonna let these crazies go ahead and jump in. Mount Rushmore, your NBA Mount Rushmore. It could be any year, any position, 5 players. Which Mount Rushmore has 4, but we always do 5. So 5
Any
players,
era.
any era.
That is so not fair.
I know.
Okay. I put in, okay, so you gotta have Kobe,
Okay.
Okay.
Jordan.
Okay.
I put in Stephon Marbury.
Ooh, Starbury.
Ooh, Starbury.
Um,
Coney
Let's see.
Island.
Hakeem Olajuwon,
Ooh. First one to say Hakeem in 30 shows. Okay, last one.
and
Another big, maybe?
Anthony Davis.
Ooh.
AD.
Hey,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
like
strong
that.
statement.
I like
you know
that.
You know what I noticed about that, and I really like, is the fact that you mixed up the age groups. You know, you got Kobe and Hakeem, but you got, AD in there, and then you got Starbury, who's played literally everywhere. So that's dope. That was dope. Awesome answers. All right, T, this is your first time on our panel. What do you got for this amazing baller right here?
Oh, I'm gonna throw it back to meditate when she back to the kind of the astrology science part, the meditation, because I really started just really started meditating more. Like I've always been praying, wake up and pray, but really meditating, I've probably been solidly doing it for about a month now, and I've seen just everything have changed. Like, what would you say for somebody who's like just getting into just meditating and all that, and then on that side of it?
The newbie.
Meditation is coming into a being and being present in what you're doing. So I would say for anyone who was wanted to start meditating, it's just being more present and aware in what you're doing at the moment. So you can meditate when you're cooking, you can meditate when you're cleaning, you can meditate when you're playing basketball, you can meditate sitting still. So it's just bringing that focus into exactly what you're doing at that moment. So if anybody wanted to start, I would just say, 5 minutes of just being super present and about with everything that's going on around you, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, how your body feels when you're doing what you're doing. That's a good way to start. So 5 minutes start of just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and then just going from there.
Okay.
Why, thank you.
There you go, T. And we expect a video seeing you doing that now so I can send it to her.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. If she comes to LA, I'm definitely on that. So
Okay. George will be the one with the candles. He'll be walking around doing the candles. He'll be like a Catholic priest, or smoke everywhere. I'm stupid like that. I'm sorry. What else you got? You got anything else, T, that you want to go ahead and ask Gianna? Point out that you know about her besides the fact that she's freaking awesome and can defend anybody.
Right.
And
then
both
I'm
of
gonna
y'all
jump back to basketball overseas real quick. How was it? How was it being overseas for that long? Was that not a problem to you? Adjusting, being away from home? Because that was an issue for me. It was tough. I only did 3 seasons in 3 different countries, and I was like, okay, I gotta be back home.
You know what? The thing about playing overseas is it's such a grind that doesn't get shown too much. It's and it's being away from home. Because in college I went to school out of state, so I was used to kind of being away from my family. But being overseas and then playing in a different country where they speak a whole different language, it was tough in the sense that I learned to be by myself a lot. So I used to be so social, so I was in college and in school, I was so social and so such a chatty person. And then when I went overseas, I turned inward and I started being more solo with the things I was doing, because it wasn't like an isolation, but it was just like, it was just, I don't know, it made me be more content with myself and being alone. I didn't feel isolated, but I did feel like a separateness from the team, just because when you go overseas and you know how you're expected to like lead, like lose in the front, win in the back, and take the lead all the time. And so it's just like puts you in a different position to where you can be friends with your teammates, but you have to make sure that you're still being that leader that you're supposed to be. So that was the biggest thing for me playing overseas.
So I'm gonna jump in real quick. You said you had a language barrier, and you being a leader, do you feel that really hindered your leadership? I don't want to say skills, but opportunities because of the language barrier.
It definitely kept my game in certain areas. So like, like the thought of playing in like a Russian country or things like that was kind of intimidating to me. Spanish speaking, because I had been introduced to it in school, it wasn't as intimidating. So that's the area I stayed in the most. I played in Spain for 3 years, and then my first country overseas was in Peru. So that was more of my comfort zone. So I tended to stay there. But yeah, language barriers can definitely attract very good opportunities to you if that's not something that's a thing for you. But for me, I wanted to kind of like stay where I was comfortable.
Yeah, there are a lot of international players. I know, like I said, I work at Angel Stadium and say like Shohei Ohtani, he always has his translator with them. Do you feel that people who come over should have translators with them, or should they have to, step up and learn the language?
Ooh, you know what? I think that if you can have a translator with you, then you should, just because you want to be able to communicate every detail of the things that you need to talk about. And sometimes not having that translation in there, it leaves it up to assumption.
Mm-hmm.
And in a business, which is what playing overseas is, in a business, you want to be able to have that clear cut communication with the people, like with your bosses and with your colleagues and things like that. So I think that if you could have a translator, people should have a translator. But if not, it's just what you have to do. You do have to step up and kind of like immerse yourself into a culture to where you have to learn not only the language, but like the mannerisms and the things like that, and like the little nuances that come with living in a whole different country.
Yeah, but it's also cool because you get to learn all the new cultures and stuff like that too, which is pretty awesome.
And you get to try new food.
That's it.
That's the best.
I was waiting for that. There it is.
Yeah.
We're all foodies here, so absolutely. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, so Coach, you've actually coached this awesome player right here. First off, what can you tell me about her from a coach standpoint, and then what questions do you have for her?
Well, from a coaching standpoint, those are the players that, like Gianna, are the ones that you want on the team, because she's a star player, but once she gets to the bench, she supports the team. She's very supportive of all the girls. And a couple of times I had to pull her to the side and say, hey, you just got to take over. The team's struggling. But I love the fact that she said the dream and Hakeem and Mount Rushmore, because her footwork is her strongest suit. In the post, she could go right, left, right hand, left hand. So her footwork's on that next level. But the difference is she could step out and guard a guard, like T said. And so she's definitely the biggest compliment I could say is that, we struggled. We lost a lot of close games in the Drew, and nothing was her fault. But the fact that she made Drew League from the 8th place team is pretty amazing, because usually all Drew Leagues or all leagues of any sort, all-star teams are from the top squads. And, we could have been in the middle of the pack, if not the top, but we lost some close games. And, and she didn't get calls. and it amazed me every game that, and she won't say it probably, but like she was fouled like crazy all over the place. Our other girls would get more calls than her, which was kind of crazy. And I don't know, for some reason, she just wouldn't get calls. And, but she kept playing through, and she actually got a lot of chippies. So when she went to the bench, we struggled. You know, it was her plus minus was probably one of the tops because when she went to the bench, we would lose our lead or, struggle or fall down double digits. And then she'd come back in and we catch up again. So she's an amazing player, but the way she was supportive of everybody was amazing. And that's what I, took away the most. Question-wise was, we asked the Mount Rushmores to everybody because we've had male athletes here. And now the fact that we're doing the women's, so I think we should start doing the women's Mount Rushmore. And that's my question. What's your top 4 all-time women hoopers?
Ooh. I want to start with Candace Parker.
Yeah.
I want to throw in Ruthie Bolton. She's an extremely good 3-point shooter. She won two gold Olympic medals. I want to put in there Diana Taurasi.
Yeah. Hall of Fame.
I want to put Shamika Holtzlaw.
Former Spark.
Yeah, buddy.
What is that, 3?
I think you're 4.
I think you're good.
You're all good.
T, what's your Mount Rushmore?
Talking to me?
Ooh.
Oh my God.
No, T.
T.
Oh man, well since she reminded me of some player, Diana Taurasi is my first one.
Yeah.
Then I would probably say that's crazy. Me and hers would be similar. That is crazy. I love her oh my goodness. Well, I know Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker. I like staying young. I'm going Ty. T1.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do one more. Oh, I need me a oldie but goodie.
What about Sue Bird?
Birdie.
Ooh. No, I'm gonna go.
Release Leslie. Brina.
Oh yeah, thank you. Lisa Leslie. How can I forget about Mama Bear? How can I forget about Mama Bear? T, how dare you? Please put some respect on her name, Mama Bear.
I like that.
Unfortunately, it was a little. Oh wow. Okay.
No, I like those lists. A lot of them were like newer players. So mine would be 2 older players, 2 newer. Cynthia Cooper.
Oh.
WNBA wouldn't be WNBA without her. She was the 4-time champion or whatever. And then, Cheryl Miller, another one. She could have played in the NBA, I think. She was there
from high school
in that household.
Mm-hmm.
And then Taurasi and then Maya Moore, I think, is so underrated. I know she stepped away from the game because of stuff she's going, but she'll be back. And I think she's on par to be one of the best ever. So.
absolutely.
Hey, let me say mine real
It's your
quick.
turn next anyway.
I
So
like
go ahead.
Hey, George, no one asked you, George.
What?
No one asked you.
Dang.
Yes,
No, since every
George.
really done.
Yes.
Come on, bro.
Someone always burns George at least once. Go ahead, George.
Exactly. I always get burned every show, but
Your
anyway.
Rushmore, and then you got your questions. Go ahead. We got about 15 to 20 minutes.
All right, it'll be quick. So my Mount Rushmore, like I said before, Sue Bird, Lisa Leslie, let me see, Cynthia Cooper, and Cheryl Swoops.
Woo, swoopsie. Yeah, buddy.
Yep.
Yep.
And then my question for my homegirl Gianna, LA native, shout out to her. But anyway, so my question to you is, I don't know if you watch any basketball movies for like the past years. I'm pretty sure you have, but what's your favorite basketball movie and why?
You know what? Love and Basketball has the quotables. I can watch that movie and I can quote that movie all day. So it's definitely Love and Basketball.
Mm-hmm. And a certain teammate plays for the basketball beauties too. We already know who that is, but we'll, you know,
Absolutely. All
yeah.
right.
So.
He's talking about inspirational movies.
You know,
She knows what's up. T knows where I'm going next. You got inspirational movie, love of basketball, but I gotta ask, are you ready for Space Jam 2? Are you excited? And BI's in it, so we all definitely gotta see it.
Oh, Black Italian.
Black Italian, sorry. Black Italian.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm like, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know, that movie is our movie. Like, I'm from the 90s generation. Like, we've been waiting for this movie to come out for a very, very long time. So it's just like overdue, you know?
Yes. But with that said, I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked T. Do you feel like you just said it's overdue? Do you feel we should have did this movie about 10, 15 years ago with Kobe?
You know what? I don't think that they would have drawn it out like that, because Kobe, I couldn't see Kobe doing like a full length feature film.
Okay.
But definitely could have done something and had Kobe in there, but I think it would have come out a whole lot different than the way it's going to be now.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're supposed to be interviewing Black Italian soon. I'm really excited to see what she has to say, what she can legally say about the movie. So it's gonna be cool. Go ahead, George. I didn't mean to step on you. We got a couple more minutes for you to grill her a little bit more.
All right. Okay. So, all right. So, one more question. So, dang, I just lost my question. But, anyways,
What about her legacy? What do you think?
oh yeah, what's your legacy that you're gonna leave behind basketball? Like any basketball activities that you've been through. So, what will be the legacy?
Um, for me, it's the diversifying experience that I've had. Like, gosh, like basketball has shaped me into the woman that I am. Like, it's had such a staple in my life. And so like, I can really attest to like basketball being life. As far as legacy that I would like to leave on the game, I would just like to show the opportunities that it creates for you. You know, it can literally change your life.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I would like to be like an example representative of like how basketball allows you to go through doors, open doors, create doors, and just be able to connect with so many great people, and to be able to like live a very fulfilling life. Just what it doesn't have to be playing and being on the court, you know, it
Mm-hmm.
could be off the court too. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just such a big connector. And it's like, gosh, like the world gets smaller the more you play basketball. So it's like really allows you to find your family and find your tribe within, you know, this space that we all have with this orange basketball that we all love.
love that.
Oh,
With
I just got one more. Sorry to cut
go
you
ahead,
off.
go ahead.
I just got one more question that just popped in my head. So you went against T, I believe, what, in the first round, right? In basketball Drew, because I was actually at that game, so it was actually a pretty good game. But you guys just weren't making shots in the last 3 minutes of the game. But it was actually a pretty dope game. Like T, I believe, had a great game that day. So my question is, what's your shiny moment? Like, what was your favorite moment of playing basketball Drew?
Good question.
You know what? Let me first say that with T, aside from being a phenomenal basketball player, she's such a great leader on the court. And what I really admire when I see her play, like just the way that she controls the game and the way that she uplifts her teammates and things like that, along with her game and her pull-up jumper. That's just her deadly pull-up. Oh my goodness. It's wonderful to watch you play. I love watching you play.
That Roadrunner
Appreciate you.
nuts.
My favorite moment from playing, you said in the women's Drew or basketball beauties?
No, women's Drew.
In the women's Drew?
And basketball beauties too.
Just being able to go to the games and play and just be around that atmosphere, that's the best part. Like, I cannot wait until this whole Corona panoramic is over so we can all go back outside and play, you know? Mm-hmm. Just being in that atmosphere, like, because the players, we create so much of what makes that that league's so unique and so special. So just being able to be a part of that is what is my favorite part, you know, like whether win or lose, it's just being around that atmosphere, around all those elite players and just a great amount of people that come there to support. That's the best part about being in the Women's Drew, is being part of that culture, because that's what it is. It's a culture there.
I love what you said about to George earlier about, you know, the game made me who I am. Can you see yourself possibly being some kind of ambassador possibly later on in life? Maybe for, if not like WNBA or even for Drew or whatever, or even for kids.
Or even basketball beauties.
Yeah, anything. Because I could totally see that.
I can definitely, I would see myself doing stuff like that. Right now, I'm focusing on my personal training at the moment,
Okay.
but basketball is not leaving me. So, you know, like I'll be back next year for the women's and for basketball beauties and things like that. So if those opportunities come up, or when those opportunities come up, I'll definitely be ready and prepared.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be awesome. You guys, this has been so cool because not only do we get to know Gianna, the ball player, we get to see Gianna, the model, the entrepreneur, the trainer, the human wildlife connection, you know,
Ever fun.
you wear so many hats and it's so freaking cool and I absolutely love it. And it's cool to see that you have a ball player with all these different sides. Like with T, it was the same thing. Entrepreneur, you know, baller, you know, and just an all-around awesome person. And I got to talk to you during the week a little bit, got to know you a little bit. But this has been really, really cool to get so deep into your life. So we appreciate that so much for you opening up to us. And, you know, this might actually help out, you know, a young baller coming up, a female who's thinking, okay, well, do I really want to do this? Am I going to overcome the stuff that I'm going to have to deal with? And you're showing them that it's possible. So thank you so much for that. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. I definitely enjoyed being on here today.
Yeah, it's been super fun. Thank you so much. Again, if you're listening, this will premiere on YouTube at 3 p.m. So anytime after 3 p.m., you can check out this awesome interview with Miss Gianna Woods. All right, Gianna, this is the part where we close out. We go square to square with our final, like, hard question. I'm going to go ahead and start off. My final question for you is, what is the scariest thing that you had to overcome on your way to where you are now, whether in basketball, life, or both?
Scariest thing would be to, I don't recall like really being scared. Like, I think, you know what, the uncertainty of having an overseas career.
Okay.
That's the scary thing, because it's like with every game, it's like so much pressure on you as the imported player to perform. Mm-hmm. And it's like, when you go there, you're expected to, you know, be able to dominate each game. But if you don't, it's like puts you at risk of like being traded, because I've been traded games before. Okay. And it's like, and it's such a tumultuous like position to be in, because it's like, if when you're doing good, then your job is secure. But if your team, which may not always be your fault, isn't doing the best it can, then you're the first person that they look at as far as making changes. So I think that the uncertainty, the job uncertainty, or just like I think that would be the biggest part about, the scariest part about playing overseas.
Well, like you said, it's a business, whether it's over here or it's over there, it's a business. So awesome. Great answer. I also like to bring in my audience towards the end if they like to say anything. Nathan, would you like to ask a question to Gianna? If not, just say no or throw up an emoji so I know. Something. Nathan, are you there? All right, we lost Nathan. So Bruce, what about you, brother? Would you like to ask Gianna anything, even though you already know?
No, I don't really have a whole bunch of questions. You know, I just want to say thank you guys for having me a part of this thing. You know, being able to listen. I haven't like spoken to Gianna in forever, so it's great to, you know, hear what she's doing, what she's going through, and stuff like that. So
cool. We appreciate you joining us. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, always.
Cool. All right, Coach.
I know it must have slipped your mind, but you know, when George asked what's your favorite part of the playing in the women's Drew this past year, you know, I thought the answer would have been playing for me, but no, seriously though, it's cool. I love the fact that T's on today because these are two favorite hoopers and all the whole Drew. If these two ever teamed up, it's bad news for everybody.
It's a problem.
Good thing that they're separated. It'd be a wrap. The pick and roll game with those two, it'd be crazy.
Over with. It's over with.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So maybe one day. So yeah, my question to finish off, G, is that what's in all your history of playing basketball from day one to now, what's the biggest lesson that you could take from the game of basketball that will post basketball career that you'll keep?
I would say it's that next game mentality. With basketball, you only have so much time to play basketball, but within that time, you get so many different opportunities to come in fresh and to start over and to do something new. So it's like that next game mentality keeps you from staying in one space too long, and it also allows you to continue moving forward and to break down your goals in like different increments, just like playing a game is, like different matchups and different situations and different seasons. So just having that next game mentality and being able to continue moving forward and to know that you have another opportunity to do exactly what you want to do. I think that's the biggest takeaway from basketball for me, because transitioning from playing overseas to not playing overseas anymore, being able to to still have that same resilience and that same passion for what I'm doing as I did when I was playing, that has something to do with like, okay, the game isn't over. You're just playing a new game now.
I love that. And my question, the way you see the game, we talked about, we talked during every timeout, every halftime, after every game, we broke down the game, and the way you see it is on next level, as far as you're a coach on the floor, right? So have you ever thought about being a coach at any level?
I've coached, when I was in England, I coached at a university, and I've coached at some high schools and a couple of elementary school levels. As of right now, being a coach isn't where my heart is. Not to say that I wouldn't come back and eventually coach again, but as of right now, personal training and playing basketball are kind of my two passions at the moment.
There you go. Cool. All right, George, go for it.
So I have a two-part question. So my first question is, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody on this panel.
Right back
So
here.
my first question is, what's your New Year's resolution? And my second question is, since you already answered the question on who you want to play one-on-one with a WNBA player, who would you like to play one-on-one with in terms of an NBA player? It could be from any era, or it could be in today's game.
Okay. Well, my New Year's resolution would be to well, it really would be to get back in basketball shape. Since we've closed the gyms down, I haven't been able to get in the gym like how I want to. So that would be my New Year's. But as far as playing playing with an NBA player,
like one-on-one against an NBA player.
I'm trying to think who would I match up well with. Shoot. I don't know. Who do you think I'd match up well with, George?
No pressure, bro.
No pressure.
Don't mess it up.
Dang. So you're what, like 6'1"? I say, like, since you could play against guards, I would love to see you play one-on-one with, I want to say Kyrie Irving. I want to say Kyrie Irving. I would say Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant's 7 foot tall, and that's just not fair. But I say Kyrie Irving for me.
Okay. T, what do you think? You've played against her.
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't even know. That's tough. That's tough because she a little calm. She can do it all, But then it's tough. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. It's tough.
Ultimate compliment, Gianna. I mean, she can't think of anybody who can.
No, for real. Ain't no limits. Ain't no limits on that queen.
Sky's the limit.
Watch out.
But hey, I got my question before I forget.
No, you're all good. We're gonna actually close out right now with you, T. Go for it.
Okay, I got a juicy one. G,
Uh-oh.
what would you tell yourself 10 years ago? Your 10 years ago self.
10 years. So that's what?
That's 2011.
2011
or 2010.
I would tell myself to look at the long game, to pay attention to the long game. Because even playing overseas, you can only think of one game at a time or one season at a time. But I think if I really had somebody talking to me about the longevity of a career rather than just being able to perform within each season, that I'd probably still be playing basketball overseas today.
Nice. Good answer. I like it.
Good answer.
She's good. You got good answers for everything, honestly, because they're coming straight from the heart. I feel it. With T, it was the same thing. I felt it. It's right here from the heart. So awesome, Gianna. Thank you so much. We're about out of time right now. So first off, I want to thank everybody for being here. Happy New Year. Thank you so much to freaking Gianna Woods for taking time out of her life, sharing her basketball life, her entrepreneur life, her model life, her everything on the list life. Thank you so much for joining us, Gianna. And the inspiration that you've brought to the show today, it's going to carry over to someone who watches the show, whether it's a 5-year-old little girl, little boy, or that 50-year-old is trying to make that comeback, or start a business or something of that nature. I have a feeling that you're going to make a big effect on them. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me. I had such a great time today talking to all of you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it. On behalf of myself, Dubl R. Ricky Rodriguez, we got George, we got the coach. Bruce is hanging out with us. Conspicuous by his absence was Gilbert. He'll be back for Triple B 2.0. And our brand new panelist, Lady T, down in the corner. Thank you so much for joining us as well. You guys, again, have an awesome New Year. Have a great New Year. You still got time to spend with family. If you're with family, please be safe out there. Wear a mask, but continue to enjoy life. We love you guys. Peace out.